Welcome to Swolefam. Recently, we got a release of the Blacktalons, the supposed Warhammer Plus show for Neeve Blacktalon. I honestly had never heard of it before until now, but here we are. And while they have rules in Age of Sigmar, they actually have more interesting rules in Warcry, which is why I decided to do a video going over and talking about it. The rules are free online, so go in the link in the description below to look at them. But right now, we're going to rate and review the rules for the Blacktalons box in Warcry. Starting things off with the reaction, Shield of Azir. Long story short on this reaction, when someone targets one of your fighters and before the hit rolls are made, you can count up to 2 critical hits from that attack action as normal hits instead. And pretty much if you're Neeve Blacktalon and close to your other Stormcast guys, you can count up to 3. This is a great survivability tactic because it makes all those Warcry swings way less punishing. If your opponent happens to get a handful of 6s, then it can go from maybe 4 damage just to 1 or something along those lines. Very good reaction and something you actually would want to use one of your actions on. Now onto the war cards themselves, and we have Neeve Blacktalon, the leader, the whole point this warband exists, and she's very expensive at 285. But in my opinion, she's one of the few expensive Warcry models that are worth every single point. She has 7-inch move, which is frankly ridiculous for a Stormcast, but awesome. Has a good ranged attack that is strength 4, which is also rare, and then a melee attack that is strength 5, flat 2 damage, but 6 attacks in one action is awesome. Neeve is an absolute beater and fast enough to go around the board and hunt people down, especially with her specific ability, Wind Rider, which is a quad. I don't like that you have to do the caveat of taking an enemy fighter down in this action to be able to use it. I don't like those abilities in general. However, being able to maneuver around the board and pretty much deep strike up or down to a minimum of 0 inches away from an opponent depending on the value of the ability is frankly nutty. Next up, we have Hendrik the Silver Wolf and Rostis Oxenhammer. I'm going over these two together because they share an ability, which is Storm of Justice. You can pick a visible friendly fighter with the Blacktalon rune mark, i.e. everyone in your warband, that's a number of inches away equal to the value, and that fighter can make a bonus move or a bonus attack. This is good for just getting extra hits in, extra mobility, because outside of Neeve, all your guys are actually kind of slow. Also, we just like versatile abilities. On the other hand, we have the stats for Hendrik and Rostis. Rostis is an absolute beater. 6 toughness, 6 strength, 4 attacks on a 1-inch range weapon, 3/6 for 200 points. You can't argue with the damage that he's about to throw out. And then Hendrik, again, has 2 attacks that are both in melee, so it's a weird instance of choosing a melee profile, but the versatility is pretty nice because you either get more attacks, less strength, or more strength, less attacks. And then they're flat 2 either way, and in this edition of Warcry, I love the flat 2 damage. Again, they're both pretty slow. They have 4-inch move and 25 wounds apiece, but they're still resilient enough with 5 and 6 toughness, like I said. And then you have this ability that either of them can pop off on a double to give bonus moves if they're nearby or bonus attacks. Good stuff. Next we have Shakana Golden Blade, who has a similar build to Hendrik. The 4-inch move and the 5 toughness, 25 wounds. Similar Stormcast build. Really resilient still, but not super fast. Her big shtick is with her range weapon. It's 3 strength, which kind of disappoints me, but 4 attacks, and then you might see the 1/2. That's pretty low damage profile, but that's when the triple comes in. Headshot. You add the value of this ability to the damage points allocated to enemy fighters by each hit and critical hit made from the next range attack action by this fighter. So you can pop the hell off on possibly getting 4 shots that could go up to a 7-8 profile. It's absolutely asinine. On top of which, she still has 4 strength and flat 2 damage in melee with a little less attacks. Again, each person has a role, and she's going to snipe the hell out of people because that triple is going to be worth it most of the time. And last but not least, we have the deepkin of the group, Lorei. While Lorai's stats are definitely not as crazed as the Stormcast compatriots, you have 5 move, which is a little faster, 3 toughness, which sucks, and 20 wounds, which is fine. You have a slightly better what I call wizard profile where you have 3 7-inch range on 3 attacks, 3 strength, and 3 7. So like I said, slightly buffed up because you have more attacks and better crit damage. And then nothing to write home about melee profile. Where Warcry gets a little more interesting is their specific ability, a triple nebulous sea fog, where until the end of the battle round, you subtract 1 from the attack's characteristic to a minimum of 1 of attack actions made by enemy fighters while they are within 6 of this fighter, which makes Warcry and all the Blacktalons way more survivable in this AoE bubble, which is always nice to see. At the end of the day, the Blacktalons are a fantastic addition to Warcry. I think they hit every kind of notch that you want in a specific low model count Warcry that's bespoke. You have high damage, powerful abilities, but still retaining unique flavor. And they're 1,000 points out of the box. They might be even a little too powerful for a bespoke warband, but I think this is the power level that we should be trying to achieve with all of the Warcry specific warbands. So at the end of the day, I have to give this warband an A. So that's it! We're going to pick up the Blacktalons warband ourselves because we want to see it and use it in a battle report and see how it goes against other warbands. This is the kind of thing that we would include in our Swolefam format that we mentioned in our other video recently, where it's only bespoke warbands. We want to see more stuff like this because it's just engaging and interesting for Warcry as a game. Either way, at the end of the day, let us know what you think of the Blacktalons. And remember, share this video. And as always, this is Rafik from Swolefam. Stay swole.